Women in perimenopause, listen up. How do you know if you're in perimenopause? Number one, well, it's a diagnosis of hindsight. But one thing I can tell you as an OBGYN with over 30 years experience is that it's not supposed to last 10 to 15 years. Perimenopause means around menopause. By definition, perimenopause is the 3 to 4 year time frame surrounding your last menstrual period ever, like when you enter menopause. The average age of menopause is 51, plus or minus a few years. Why then are women in their mid-30s, when they go to their doctor, talking about brain fog, mood swings, hormone imbalances, fatigue? They're being gaslit and labeled, given the diagnosis of perimenopause. And then they're handed a prescription depending on their main symptom. Birth control pills if it's mood swings, anti-anxiety or antidepressants if it's, mood changes that go along with, feeling anxious or depressed. Sleeping pills if they can't sleep. Told it's normal aging if they have brain fog. How can this be? I had an epiphany yesterday on an airplane coming back from California to Chicago. And it's that traditional medicine is caught up in the diagnosis. If you can label something with a diagnosis, then you can bill for it, because all insurance companies bill based on procedure codes and diagnosis codes. And so that's why it's so important to have a diagnosis. But the problem is the diagnosis has nothing to do with the underlying root cause. And in perimenopause, it's even worse because the diagnosis is wrong. If you're 35, I would bet my last dime that you're not 3 years surrounding menopause. It's so rare to have premature menopause that perimenopause in your mid-30s is almost impossible. But the symptoms feel like it. So that's where the diagnosis comes in. But it's from hormone imbalances caused by gut inflammation, abnormal gut bacteria that block estrogen metabolism. It's from toxic load, where your cells are damaged and you can't make energy, and the hormone receptors lose their shape because of a damaged cell structure, so the hormones don't work right. And it's because some toxins actually mimic estrogen. They have a just similar enough shape of the key to look like estrogen and open that estrogen lock in your cells, even though it's not estrogen. But how did we get this way as a society? Here was my epiphany. I remember back in college, in undergrad, when I was studying animal physiology and biology, and we learned that if you put a frog in a pot of boiling water, it immediately jumps out. It can sense that something's not right. Frogs don't have a forebrain. They don't think. They just act on reflex. So if you put them in a pot of boiling water, they recognize the change immediately and they hop out, and saves their lives. But if you put a frog in room temperature water and slowly heat the water to boiling, guess what? This is gross, but it doesn't jump out. It dies in there and gets boiled because it doesn't notice the change. Well, here's my argument. That's what's happening to us as a society in medicine and health in general. We have this slow change in this acceptance of toxins, in this acceptance that colon cancer starts at a younger age and other cancers start at a younger age. So you need to screen earlier. And hormone imbalances now start in your mid-30s, and perimenopause is now 10 to 15 years long. And cognitive decline is accepted. It's called age-related cognitive decline, meaning there's not really a cure for it. And so we've been conditioned by this slow change of worsening health that, that's just the way it is. Start your breast imaging earlier. Start your colonoscopies earlier. Get more pap smears. Get a will done and have a power of attorney, because when you go dementia, you want to have someone that can make decisions for you. I'm not saying those things aren't important, but we've normalized illness. Who's asking why? Who's asking why is colon cancer on the rise? Why is breast cancer on the rise? Well, I can tell you, we have more toxic exposures than ever before. Newborn babies are born with 287 chemicals in their umbilical cord, and they haven't even taken their first breath yet. There was a study that showed that C-section babies at cord blood sampling had that many chemicals in their blood. Only a fraction of these chemicals have ever been studied for human safety. If something's agricultural, they don't have to study it right away for human consumption. So the toxic load is up, and it's been increasing slowly over time. And then you add to that, our nourishment is down. We're eating more processed foods because we're so busy and it's convenient, and we're stressed out and we crave sugar. And even when we try to eat right with fruits and vegetables, the nourishment content in fruits and vegetables is not the same as it was 150 years ago. The plants can only give you the micronutrients and minerals and vitamins if they can extract the minerals from the soil. If the green leafy vegetables that are growing have no magnesium in the soil, they can't make it out of nothing. Magnesium's an element on the periodic table of elements. You can't make it. And so if the plants can't extract it from the soil because the soils don't have it, then the plants can't give it to you. And so even if you try to eat right, you're not getting the same nourishment content that our ancestors did. And then you put on top of that the stress, because we've lost touch with nature and we've lost touch with each other. You know, even now when young people get together, a lot of times they're just staring at their phone or staring at the TV. They're not really communicating. So we've lost that sense of community. That is a huge component to our health is community. So it's time to wake up. We're in a pot that's slowly heating and we need to jump out. Luckily, we have a forebrain. We're not amphibians. We don't just act on reflex. We have the ability to think. And the thinking starts with asking why. When someone says, I know you why you feel this way, you have this diagnosis, you have ADHD, you have depression, you have anxiety, you have perimenopause. The next question is to be, well, why did I get that? Well, if you're in your late 40s, sure, perimenopause. We can talk about that later. But if you're in your mid-30s and someone tells you that you have perimenopause as the diagnosis for the reason you have symptoms, get another doctor, get another opinion. Even experts out there that are finally talking about hormones and menopause and perimenopause get this wrong. I can promise you perimenopause is not supposed to last 10 to 15 years. I'm Dr. Yvonne Karney. I'm the hormone locksmith. We at Vitality Renewal work with people to help balance their hormones, find the underlying root cause of your hormone imbalances so you feel like yourself again. If this is helpful for you, please forward it to someone who needs to hear it. And if you're interested in my hormone quiz to see what hormone imbalances you have, check below. It's a really well done quiz and provides you with a lot of information about how to balance your hormones and what's gone wrong with your hormones. Take care and we'll see you next time.